This episode of Ange TV is brought to you by Tim Hortons, located at 3760 Boule des Sources in Dollar des Ormeaux and 305 Rue Brunswick in Pointe Claire, Quebec, Canada. Tim Hortons, always fresh, toujours frais. What is up, guys? We are live. Welcome back to the Ange TV Show, guys. We are back. It is time for another awesome interview, guys. Tonight, we have a very special guest backstage with her bassist, guys. So you're going to meet him as well. But before I bring them on tonight, guys, I just want to remind you to please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video on the Ange TV Show YouTube channel, guys. All right, guys, our guest for tonight was actually brought to my attention from a good friend of mine, Mr. Charles V. Rocks Vaccaro. He's a singer himself. So mega shout out to you, Charles, and great performance at Ital Fest, by the way. So, guys, without further ado, let's bring on our guest for tonight, pop singer Neomi. I always make that mistake. Guys, I literally wrote the name, had to redo it, and now I'm redoing it again. Neomi and Sandro, guys. Sandro Ferraro, by the way, guys. The great Sandro Ferraro. He's been around the music industry for a while, so I do appreciate what he does. He is the bassist. How are you, Sandro? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. And Neomi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us.
No problem. It is my pleasure. And guys, you seriously, after this interview, need to go check out Neomi's YouTube page. She has some amazing songs and also music videos. If you guys are into music videos, you need to definitely check that out. And also her Instagram handle is This Is Neomi, guys. Go give her a follow and check out her content because she is awesome. Neomi, the burning question for today is, who is Neomi?
Oh my God, it's a loaded question. I mean, I guess I'll start with when we started releasing music, like who Neomi is as an artist. We started releasing music back in 2018. It was super duper pop stuff at that point. So, very, a little more on the softer side, a little more pop. And I think over the years, we've performed a lot, as a band. We started writing together over quarantine. And now that writing is kind of coming to a wrap, we have a whole EP almost ready. Nice. So a little more, thanks. A little more on the rock, a little bit darker elements, a little bit of Paramore in there. It's a little more a little heavier than it was originally. So that's kind of what our music is about, who we are.
Nice. So you have been actually producing music for over 3 years now. You were telling me backstage. But you did have a past in music. You've been singing for quite a bit of time. Like most young artists, you started with cover songs, correct?
Yeah, that's true. So I started posting covers when I was I want to say 14 or something. Mm-hmm. I was a very introverted child, so very, very shy, going on stage. I would kind of have to push myself to do it. And I did start performing when I was 4 or 5 years old. So I started young, but I was always nervous about it. And then YouTube was kind of oh, cool. I can just take a video in my bedroom in the comfort of my own home and put it for the internet to see. So I started at 14, just songs that I loved.
Secret Agent Randy Beat says, I'm willing to do an interview for $500 American.
We will take it.
He's hilarious. Badaron is in the building as well. And also Khalid. How are you, Kyle? How you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Like I said, you did get involved in music through, I guess, was there somebody that got you into the music industry, or is it really, well, I would say music in itself? Was there somebody that really pushed you to do that?
I think from young, it was just me kind of going for it. My parents kind of saw that I was into music and they always encouraged me to go for it. In the professional realm, I started working with Kevin Jardine when I was 17, and he was the first person to really introduce me to how the industry works. How about you, Sandra? How'd you get started?
I've been literally playing since I was able to. The moment I got a guitar in my hands, it was over. Yeah. Bands here, bands there, and the classic musician problem: get a band going, write a few songs, someone quits, now the band falls apart, find a new band, someone quit, and rinse and repeat until I stumbled upon Naomi, and we've been going strong. And,
you guys got a little like duo going on, right? Like musical duo, I guess.
Pretty much.
It's turning into that because slowly, we had Mikey who is departing us sadly. Mm-hmm. So we're pretty much a duo at this point. Yeah. And
well, it's good. Like I said, every good singer has a drummer. Like for example, when Paul Lizzi came on last week, he was saying that he worked in tandem with, I believe, Carl Wolf and some other artists. Mm-hmm. Interesting to have that dynamic of like someone that does instruments and someone who sings. You know what I mean? It's two people that can help out each other. Kind of like Timbaland making beats with Nelly Furtado in the 2000s, you know?
Yeah, that's us.
Exactly. It's good. I mean, the more people you can meet, guys, the better. It's all about networking. That's pretty much how I met you guys, right? So
absolutely. Actually, Charles, I was at the ETAL Fest performance. Actually, we were both there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I knew him. Like I didn't know that I knew him. Naomi was talking to me about him, and then I'm like, oh, that sounds like an interesting. Let's go to the thing. And then I'm like, hey, I know him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this guy, man, he made a song. I think it was "I Can't Stop." Can't Stop. Mm-hmm. Well, it was really good. It made it on the radio, I believe, in the United States too. So that was a big thing for Charles. Good for him. And he also used to be in Lipstick. Yeah, I don't know if you guys knew.
Yeah. I've heard of them. They're an older band.
He's been around, Charles, for sure. And now he's kind of like giving back to the new artists. So that's pretty cool. So Naomi, I want to know something. I ask a lot of musicians this. It's really damn hard right now to make it in music. It's like I said, I encourage you guys. I'm really how do you say, blessed by the work you guys do. I'm really impressed by what you guys do, for sure. You guys are very hardworking, but like I said, it is hard to make it in the music industry. But what makes your music, or at least what do you think your music stands out from the rest?
Want to take it away?
We've got a really unique blend. Like Naomi, your influences are like,
Hannah Montana, mostly. I'm kidding. A little bit. Very pop background, and Sandro's more of like a rock background.
Yeah, hard school, like old school rock, like especially like the early days of learning music. It was like Guns N' Roses, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, like the hard rock stuff. So I come from a completely different space in music. So when you take kind of our two worlds and smash them together, you end up with something that's really unique. And our new EP is really a testament to that. I'm really excited to release. We're getting there. It sounds super different, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're muted.
Okay, I'm muted. But what was I gonna say? It shows how I can't wait for this EP. But anyways, the EP, like I said, I can't wait till it comes out. You guys are really hyping it. You're doing a good job hyping it, that's for sure. Is there any date when we could expect, or at least an approximate date?
We're hoping to drop the first couple of singles by early 2023, and then maybe have the EP out by next summer, kind of thing.
Like we're going to be working on that tonight.
After going to the studio, we're straight to it.
So it's a work in progress, and so let me get this straight. An EP is not exactly an album. It's not the same thing.
So it's a shorter version of an album, basically. Okay. I think it's max 7 songs, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it could be really as long as you want it to be. If you wanted to release 10 songs, I mean, call it an EP, call it what you want. EP stands for electronic preview, so it's like it to us it kind of is an album, but I feel like especially with the direction that we have to take, because we're more in the pop realm. The stuff is shorter, the stuff is quicker, so I think it's more appropriate to call it an EP.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there plans to create a full-blown album?
I mean, for sure. That's definitely hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would probably be a bigger project, obviously a bigger investment, more time. Like I said, there's so many artists that say, I'm going to put out this album. Like Dr. Dre said, I was going to put this album called The Detox. I don't even think it ever came out called The Detox. It was called something else. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to choose you make a bunch of songs. You really have to narrow it down and choose songs, so that's but EPs, for you guys that don't know, they really help build up to an album, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Build up the hype, build up everything, build up the level. Tendolo Naz in here. What's up, Tendolo? How you doing, my friend? So like I said, yes, an EP is like anything else, like a reel on Instagram. It really helps your page for sure.
I mean, big bands have done EPs. Foo Fighters did an EP before dropping 3 gigantic albums. So
okay, it's like a short film, right? A short film, you bring it to a film festival, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good comparison.
Same type of concept for sure. So guys, your lyrics, well, actually, Neomi, your lyrics, because I don't know, like, is it only you that writes the songs? Or is there somebody in the background here, like a ghostwriter?
No, it's me.
It's all you.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Because like you said you have a lot of people around you, so I figured there's some kind of co-writing. But okay, that's interesting.
Stuck, I jump in and what if we add this word or that?
Oh,
word?
okay. So you edited
terrible with words, but good with music, and she's good with words. So
Exactly.
okay. But most of the core is from you. So I want to know your lyrics. Are they inspired by like heartbreaks, hardships, regrets? Like what is your lyrics mostly inspired by?
Boys, honestly. If I want to be real here, yeah, I feel like a lot of my songs that I put out so far and the ones that we're like writing to very much like relationship heavy. I feel like, I don't know, when I sit down to write, I feel like I like to be very honest in my lyrics and try to like connect with people like through shared experiences. So I feel like that's something that, whenever I'm feeling very strongly, like that's what I want to put on paper. So it just happens to be, heartbreak a lot of the time. It just comes out. But yeah, that's usually what my songs are inspired by. Just like real life, everyday little things that happen to me.
Interesting. That's usually what people do.
Yeah.
But like your songs, are they more like, I wouldn't say they're sad songs, right? Like it's not usually sad songs.
Yeah, no, I think I feel like a lot of the songs we have out right now are kind of like either a mix of like, kind of like having a crush on somebody, that like flirty stage, kind of like dangerous on your list. And then like extreme heartbreak, but kind of like you're filled with rage over it. So like hope kind of. They're all like fun to perform on stage, like high energy for sure.
The EP is completely is going to be a completely different vibe as well, which is nice.
Yeah.
But like I said, like I've been looking at your music the last few days, and it's honestly speaking, it's something I haven't seen in a while.
Oh really?
Like yeah. Like you remind me. Like we're gonna talk about that later, but you got compared to a couple people. One of them being Avril Lavigne. So we're gonna talk about that later. But I really see it. Like I find you remind me of something close to Nelly Furtado.
Wow.
Maybe a bit less dance, but I'm saying something in that realm. That like it's like a renaissance of that. You know what I mean?
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like I said, I usually like I check obviously the guests that come in. I look at their music and everything, and I said that like this has a lot of potential. And then I was reading on your website that you've been in here 3 years, like producing, actually putting music out there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so it is a very young career, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So like from when you did the covers, because I'm just trying to bridge everything together, like on a map and everything. When you did the covers, did you keep up that same how do you say consistency that you wanted to become a big singer, or like was there a point where it's kind of like it was maybe your age that you wanted to wait? Like how did that work out?
Yeah, I feel like everything happened for me like in a very organic way. I feel like from young, I always like people would ask me like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I'm like, "I want to be like Hannah Montana or like Madonna." That was like the standard answer.
Yeah.
But it just never changed. Like kids say that, and it kind of fades into more whatever. But like it was the constant like answer for me.
Yeah.
And hi Sarah.
Sarah Jasmine is in the building, guys. She says, "Love you, Neomi, talented queen."
I love you, Sarah.
And Kendall Onaz asked if you have a YouTube channel. You do have a YouTube channel. It's Neomi. If you type Neomi, they should find you on YouTube channels, right?
Yeah.
Maybe easier to write I Hope You Know, which is the title of our
exactly, guys. Right? I Hope You Know Neomi, and you will find it guaranteed. She has music on her channel. Sarah said, Hannah, you do. It's funny. You do. Now that you said it, obviously not Miley Cyrus now, but like Hannah Montana before, you get that vibe. You know what I mean? That's for sure.
Big inspiration.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So speaking about the song, I Hope You Know, what's that all about? Like the whole, where did you get the idea? What is it about? And also the reception. How did it do?
Yeah, so it's so funny. The song went through the ringer in terms of like the different stages it went through.
Yeah.
I wrote this song originally like on piano, just like basic chord and like lyrics. When I was like, I want to say like 16 or 17. It was like one of the
okay.
first songs I like ever wrote. Right after I got broken up with for the very first time, you know, getting into, I was like, I'm going to write about heartbreak and it's going to get better. And then, you know, it just keeps happening. You write more songs. It's a process. But yeah, no, I feel like that song, I wrote it, kind of put it in my back pocket, didn't really think much of it. There was like an original kind of demo version I did at like 18 or 19 with Kevin back when I was working with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then we tucked it away again. Like we didn't think it was anything like special. And then the band heard it and they were like,
started jamming.
oh, yeah.
And it was big. It was huge. Like the song just, I was like, this is a big song. We gotta really like juice it up somehow. And you know, especially with the band that we were with, that we had, the guys that we had in the room at the time, and we ran with it, I think. And the song, you know, it's a powerful song now.
It was a powerhouse, guys. Like, I'm being very honest. On YouTube, I got over 50,000 views, the music video.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Were you guys so like, how did that happen? You were looking at like, what, like, how did this get so big? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it something you expected?
I mean, honestly, I feel like with Hope You Know, like we were doing so much work before it came out in terms of like the marketing side of it. We were really like, you know, DIY entirely. We were reaching out. I remember one day I have this group of friends who are like amazing and they help us out so much with like the little things. We we had like a 3-day sleepover. Okay. And we sat in one living room with like a bunch of laptops open and we emailed Hope You Know to like a billion, like, you know, just industry people and like people that write blogs and podcasts. And just like kind of like our own PR company, if you will, for like 3 days. We were just like firing off emails. And I think it was just like those efforts that like really paid off in the end. And I'm happy that a lot of people got to hear the song and a lot of people reached out and said they could relate to it. And I feel like that's like why we do what we do. So it just felt very rewarding. Yeah.
So I would say it got in the right hands. That's for sure, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
And it got on the radio too.
Yes.
It got on the radio. Oh my God. What radio station did it play on?
It played on a bunch of college radios.
Yeah.
Really?
It played up north in some spots. It played in Ontario. Played a lot in Kingston, actually.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
around
incredible.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to the Spotify version versus the YouTube version, we actually did like a radio edit so that it was more appropriate for radio because like it was too long.
Yeah.
Okay.
The version that's on YouTube is the extended version. It has a full-on bridge in it. That's a lot more musical. The version that we put to radio is more straightforward, get to the point and get out.
Yeah.
But that's what they want on radio, so that's what we did.
And that's something that a lot of artists have trouble with, is getting on the radio, especially people that have like vulgarity and they swear and this, that. It's like, that's what's so hard. It's getting on the radio. And then there's another aspect to it. There's a guest that came on here a few weeks ago. He told me, like, basically the record labels own the radio stations. Like, if you guys don't know that, but that's basically like, it's kind of like they know already who's going to go on there. And there's very little space, especially for local talent.
Yeah.
So the fact that you kind of made it, you trickled onto all kinds of different radio stations is very impressive. And it speaks volume to the music you make, right?
Thanks. That's it's a cool little accomplishment.
That's why we do it. We want people to listen to the music and like, feel something, like, does that song means something to you? Like for me, it's like an honor that, hey, I worked on that song that means something to that person, so that's the whole reason why we do what we do.
Yeah.
It's not to be famous. It's so that someone else is going to go through an experience, listen to the song and be like, hey, like, I feel that, and for different reasons, because music is personal.
Yeah.
You're going to feel something. The next person is going to feel something else. But what's really humbling is when you reach someone, you touch them, and that song becomes important to them. And it's a song that you worked on. You're playing. That's your bass line. That's your bass on that song.
And there's even a Neomi fan page going around.
There's a couple freaking out.
A couple of them. Really? Wow.
Awesome.
Crazy.
Fans.
But like I said, you see, like, what's it called? People know when there's good content, right? That's what it is. They recognize good content. I saw the comments on YouTube of your music video, and people were just like, I have it on repeat. Like, I really like the song. It was obviously it was a good move for sure. There's no doubt about that. But what are your thoughts like on the current state of pop? Because it's a lot different than when I was growing up, probably when Sandra was growing up. We're around the same age, or if not the same age. So like, in those golden years, you had the Carrie Hilson, you had the, what's it called? Nelly Furtado, Rihanna was big, you had Usher, you had Like then there was like R&B, you had Mario, you had like so many different people. Rap was on fire, but it was close to pop as well. What's your thoughts on 2022 pop?
Sandro, take it away.
Well, I mean,
you got this.
It's a challenge. Like we're still we consider ourselves, pop, and then everything else. It's a challenge because especially for myself as a musician, I don't write 3-minute songs or less than 3-minute songs. My songs are all 4 minutes, 4 minutes 50, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm a musician. That's what happens when I write something. So we will do our demo and we'll end up in the studio, and then it's like chomping everything down and taking parts out, and a part that was maybe like 35 seconds now became like a bar. So it's like maybe a second of that part is in the whole song. There's a lot of work that really goes into, especially for us, nailing that pop aspect, nailing that radio playability, if you will, to make our music pop. It's definitely a challenge. And I mean, with the TikToks of this world that are like, they're decreasing song size by the day. Like there's artists that are releasing songs that are a minute long. Like on our EP, I think we have one that's 2 minutes 30.
Yeah,
I know they're getting shorter and shorter, the songs.
Yeah,
but because when we're gonna play live, there's no way. I promise you, there's no way that our songs are gonna be 2 minutes 30 seconds. No. We're gonna put on the full show, and that's how I see it as a musician. Is here's the song for the commercial aspect. When you come and see us, we're going to give you your money's worth. We're going to put on a hell of a show. You're going to leave there and be like, wow, that was a great night. I enjoyed that. They played songs that I loved, and they added so much stuff to it. I'm like shocked. So I think that's
for sure. You want to give them a bang for their buck. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I want to know something though. Like I said earlier, you were being compared to Avril Lavigne, Miley Cyrus. Is that a good thing for you? Is that something like, are those people you look up to?
Definitely, yeah. I think specifically those two, I grew up listening to a ton.
Me too, believe it or not. Avril Lavigne was, When I was growing up, Skater Boy was like something that boy or woman, everybody was singing that. Like
especially
you remember
Canada, especially though we're Canadian, man. She was massive. Avril was big.
Yeah, she's awesome.
But like I said, a lot of these artists, they like I said, it's too bad. I wish they were still around doing their thing. Like they're still around, but I mean, I wish they were still like the mainstream artists.
Yeah.
But somebody told me something today, and I kind of like, it's making a lot of sense now. Like he told me like 50 Cent was good, but then it's like people stopped listening to that type of music, like it got repetitive for 10 years, the same type of music. It's just one of those things that it's like, yes, the beats kind of helped, like the people like the Scott Storches, the Timbaland, they help those people get big, but at the same time, they're gone because that music doesn't sell anymore.
Interesting.
You get it?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just as good as it was before, it just won't do good now.
Yeah. Times change for sure.
And that's, it's sad because I go back on YouTube and I look at those songs and I'm like, and I tell them like, the young kids of today, they don't know what they're listening to right now. Like the auto-tune, the Bobby Shmurda, the mumble rap.
But those are the difference though. Those artists, 50 Cent just played in Montreal this summer. Those artists are still touring.
Yeah, exactly. At 50 years old, some of them.
These mumble rappers, like, man, give them 5 minutes, they're gone. Like,
and there's a lot of violence too. Like it's just like these 6ix9ines and this, that. And a lot of
they're flash fires. They'll be around for a minute and then they won't. And then we will probably have forgotten that they exist.
Island Boys, like all this stupidity.
But that's the state of things, right?
Yeah. So we all know, like in this industry, you get people that like you, then you get people that criticize you, right? And just outright don't like you. Maybe it could be envy, it could be God knows what, jealousy. But so far, do you feel like you've gotten any hate? Because obviously you seem like a bubbly person. I don't think anybody would hate you.
Thanks.
But I'm just curious, like with your music, with your YouTube, your singing, and has there been any instance of hates, and how do you deal with that?
Yeah, so thankfully, like not a lot of hate has come my way. I feel like I can pinpoint when it has. And it's like the 2 times I went viral on TikTok, which fair enough. One was like a Taylor Swift video. So like, there were not like hate so much, but like, people who don't like Taylor Swift kind of like were in. Yeah. So it wasn't really against me, I guess, but like kind of.
We were just screwing around.
Just screwing around, yeah.
Like, what did they say basically?
So basically, okay, so the video, it's so, okay, this is what, it's the TikTok thing is funny, but like,
Yeah.
basically it was, there's this audio that was like trending of like all of her albums being said like in a row, and it was like
Okay.
in her voice. So if she sang the title of that album, like it would be like her voice singing it or whatever.
Yeah.
And me, one of my good friends who's also a singer, Lisa, shout out Lisa if you're here, I think she's watching. We did this video where we like recreated that audio with our microphones and like fully like just sang like her discography, like kind of title back and forth. And then we're like, ooh, kind of pitchy, like, oh, didn't like this, like didn't do justice to the original audio. Like,
So you were doing a reaction, basically.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, but I feel like, the more attention you get on like, a certain piece of content or a song or whatever it is, the more people are, they're going to have opinions, like good and bad. And like,
Yeah,
I feel
of
like
course.
it's
But the
way
bad
it is.
opinions are just as important.
Yeah.
Because
They're important. Yeah, exactly, Sandra. Because like I said, it shows engagement. Yeah.
please drop them.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
it feeds the algorithm and it's good for us.
Exactly. That's what like, and that's why they say you need to have thick skin. It's for those moments. Once you see there's a larger crowd like looking in and examining and looking and saying, like they're gonna say stuff. You better be ready for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure you are. But I'm saying, like I said, I have over 3 channels now, and I do a lot of content. And sometimes I get those, like I do a lot of like I collect stuff. I don't know if you know, I have another channel called Ange Collects.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm I'll be very honest with you guys. Like sometimes I open the packs beforehand because I'm so excited. And then on camera, I make it look like it's a fresh pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, and then I get caught sometimes. They say, "Oh my god, it's a real sealed pack," and they just create a whole like rant.
No.
So, anyways, like I said, people will realize things and they will call you out for it.
For sure.
But like I said, it's part of the game. You know what I mean?
But it's just about being genuine, right? I mean, like, we're spending all of our freaking nights writing music and coming up with music, and instead of being at a bar, instead of hanging out with buddies, instead of playing video games, we're spending all our time doing this. We love, this is what we love to do.
Absolutely.
And like, for all the haters that there's going to be, it doesn't matter. If we reach that one person that's like, this song means so much to me, it's worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So far in your young career, what has been like a big highlight? Maybe you won something, maybe somebody noticed something, a show. What's the highlight of your career so far?
We talked about this earlier. I think we both agree on there's one moment that sticks out to us. So we did a show and for the first time ever, we could hear the whole crowd screaming the lyrics back to us for a couple of the songs. And it was such a moment like, oh my God, they know all the words and like they're so into it. So that was like, I was like, wow, like people actually listen to it. It's not, if they're like, oh, I listened to the song once or twice, like it's good, versus like I know every single word and the back harmonies.
That's
and
crazy. You get this flash in your head that you like, oh my God, I made it here. People like are listening, they know the lyrics.
It's surreal. On stage, we're playing the song and I had goosebumps.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's nothing you can do. Like I've played this summer in front of like really big crowds doing session work. And it was really cool and really fun, but that didn't compare to having the crowd singing the song back at me. Yeah. I'm like, I can't hear Neomi anymore through a monitor because I hear the crowd singing it. So it's wow. It was a really surreal moment, and I'm sure you too on stage. You just got goosebumps, and you're just like, okay, well, let's go play the song. Make sure we don't make a mistake.
That made your night. Like that made the night more than your performance for sure.
Sure.
Like everybody wants to be somebody, right, guys? Like, you know what I mean? Like when you feel, that's just confidence. That's like, wow, like this is what it feels like. You know what I mean? That's what runs through your head. So you were saying about your music videos. I'm sure you had a blast doing them. Like you must have. I mean, because like there was so much into it. Like usually when you do, like when you have like there was one, I think it was Dangerous.
Yeah.
What was a male figure, I guess. Was it? Do you usually get people or is there these completely random people?
So the guy in the Dangerous video, it's kind of a funny story. So he's an actor that we hired for the video. His fiance was actually on the crew for the Dangerous video as well. So she was like, she's like, oh, okay, grab her waist a little, like on this end, and like, okay, move her face this way, like. Okay, look like you're about to kiss her. Like she was kind of like giving us like direction to, which was like, it was funny because like, and like I had a boyfriend at the time who was on set too. So it's very like, obviously, we're all very comfortable with it. But met him for the first time that day. Great guy, very nice. We did cool video together. Yeah.
But I have two questions actually that are not scheduled here that like, you're not aware of. But one is like to the tours. Like you said, Sanjo was hinting at like possible tours. Is that going to happen eventually? Tours? Is there something in the making there?
Well, right now, we're like hoping that ends up happening. We do have a show scheduled in November. It's not a tour per se.
No,
but
we're not a tour yet, but we're working towards doing that. I mean, I think it's in our medium-term objectives.
For sure, yeah.
We'll probably what it's probably going to look like is Quebec, Ontario, maybe up to Toronto, maybe
Canadian tour. Okay,
definitely Canadian. I would say Quebec, Ontario.
Yeah.
We'll hit the spots that we played on, like as we played on the radio on certain spots. So, we'll make sure we hit the spots that we played on the radio.
So it's coming, guys. Get ready. You said you have a show. Where is it? What time is it?
We're playing at the Diving Bell on November 11th. It's not announced yet, so this is like
the announcement.
Grand announcement.
November 11th, you said? That's in Montreal, the Diving Bell?
Yeah.
It's on St. Lawrence, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
And that is like a club soda?
It's a smaller venue. I would say it's more comparable to like a Petit Campus, if you will.
Okay.
It's about similar size, if a little bit smaller.
So you're expecting to have how many people about?
We'll find out.
We want to sell out,
we're
hopefully.
We're in the post-COVID world, so it's anything goes nowadays. Since COVID, you can't predict anything.
So now November 11th, I'm actually going to be, I think, in Toronto because I have a card show. So it's a Toronto card show. It's a big one. But it's so November 11. At what time, guys?
The doors are probably at 7 or 7:30. The first band.
And is it like just show? No, like it's not a food thing. It's just a show, right?
Just
straight up show. Yeah.
Show, drinks. I'm sure.
Bands. It's a bar. They have food. They have a menu and everything.
Yeah.
But it's 3 bands. I think the Black Magic. I think they're called. An interesting local band as well.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting show. It's our first like real show because we did a VR show during COVID.
Yeah.
It's our first real show.
Okay, so this is a first. Okay, I thought you guys have done this before, so it's definitely a first.
Well, I mean, we've played just before COVID.
Before
COVID hit, and then everything closed.
Yeah.
This is our first show since COVID, especially because we've been working on the EP, and we really wanted to advance it as much as we possibly could before doing a show.
Nice. The other question that I didn't script, guys, I'm curious to know because, like I said, it's when whatever you're doing, whether if it's not work related, something extracurricular, hobby, usually it takes a lot of time, right? Mm-hmm. So I was curious to know. I'm not sure if you're still in a relationship, Neomi, but
I am
at the time. Okay, at the time, it doesn't matter. But at the time, did your partner did he accept you for what you did? With the time, was he open for you? Like, did he support you? I'm curious to know.
Yeah, very much so. Super, super supportive. He actually does photography, so he would come and like take photos when we were on set and do shows. Very supportive. And he's still alive. He is very busy person. So we both kind of we're able to understand I have studio X band days a week and he's doing this. So I feel like that's, should I get into a relationship sometime in the future, it would have to be with a busy person as well. So we can understand that.
It's part of the game, I have a girlfriend and she knows, this week I am loaded up, tonight we're going to the studio. Tomorrow we're going to the studio. Thursday we're going to the studio. Yeah. So
she knows your habits, right? And usually, you would support the person for sure.
Absolutely.
Bobby Short Shorts is in the building. How are you? He says, hi, Ange. Cool guest this evening. Thank you, Bobby. Bobby is also a podcaster, guys. He's a film director. He's a producer. He's got a show called Seriously Live. It's spontaneous, guys. He's everywhere, literally. So mega shout out to Bobby. And Tendelo Naz, I guess he has a question for you guys. How do you find courage to never stop making music? That's interesting.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Oof.
Do you have the answer for that one?
I feel for me, I feel it's interesting because when I first started making music, it was very much I was writing for myself and because I just loved writing. And I feel at various points in the writing journey, I was okay, I just want to write a good song. I'm going to the studio and I just want to write a good song, whatever that is. And I feel I lost a little bit of touch with the reason I first started writing. And recently I really, really got that back. And I just I go in and I'm I love the song, so I'm sure there's people out there who will also love it. Like if I'm feeling it, like others will as well, and I'm enjoying the writing process. So I feel like for me, like finding the courage to keep writing is just like writing music that like makes my soul feel alive, if you will, and like hopefully that'll connect with other people and make them feel alive too. So that's like what keeps me going.
If I could add 25 cents to that, because this year is a surreal year for me. I actually just I actually just got an endorsement, and anyways, never give up. Do not stop. If you love music and it's your passion, never give up. Not for a minute, not for a second. Dreams come true. You just got to put the work in. You got to believe in yourself. Don't stop doing what you're doing. If you're doing music, Tendolo, I don't know if he's doing music, but I think the biggest piece of advice that I could give to any musician ever, full stop, never give up. Keep doing what you love and keep loving it. Keep loving every second of it.
Yeah.
You know what? You brought up a good point, Sandro. Like I said, at the end of the day, don't do it for others. Do it for yourself. If you enjoy doing it, keep doing it. That's it's a very good point which you made, Sandro, for sure. I have two more questions. Then we're going to get to the live performance, guys. Awesome. Neomi is going to be singing Dangerous. It's actually a really good song. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. And also, Mr. Sandro here is the bassist. So that's going to be interesting. All right. So first of all, I want to know, would you ever consider auditioning for a talent show on television such as America's Got Talent, American Idol, you know, like The Voice, the whole spiel? What are your thoughts on that?
I was actually on a Got Talent last year. Fun fact, yeah. I ended up going on Greece's Got Talent. I'm Greek, so my family was like, you know, why don't you audition? Because I grew up watching that version of the show, my family. So they were like, oh, you should, you know, audition. I sent an audition tape. I didn't really think much of it, kind of forgot about it. And, you know, a long distance number called me out of the blue last year and they were like, hey, come to Greece, like you're in. So I was like, okay, great. And I made it to the semifinals and it was a really, really, really cool experience. The most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done, but very cool. And I'm glad I pushed myself to do it. Yeah. So
you made it to the semis. Okay. So you made it pretty far. Like, I mean, where is it televised? Is it only in Greece it's televised?
So basically there's a couple of channels that stream like Greek channels here in Canada as well in the States, because I have family here in the States and they were able to watch it. So yeah, it's kind of like all over.
Wow, good for you. Like I said, okay, so you answered the question because I guys, this is the first time I'm hearing this answer. This is not pre-scripted. Wow. Okay, so you made it to the semis. That's very impressive. Seriously. Bobby Short Shorts, he has a question. I actually asked this before, but I think he came a bit later. He said, Neomi, where do you get the inspiration to write your music? Is it through daily life or through life events?
I feel like for me, it's both. Some, you know, times something big will happen for me in my life. And I'm like, I have to write about this. There's no way, like, I'm going to, you know, not eventually write a song about it. Like, for me this year, you know, we're kind of trying to write about this, but my mom passed away a couple of months ago, and that's definitely a big
sorry to hear about that. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so I feel like that for me, like I want to write about it. It's hard to write about, but like I think it's something I want to write about. And then like daily life too, it's like little things will happen that as a songwriter for me, it's like I will take one tiny action and, you know, blow it out of proportion in my head and write a whole song about it. So like, you know, a cute boy will smile at me. I'd be like, I'm going to write a whole song about that because I can. So it really depends on, you know,
spontaneous. Okay.
And, yeah.
Spontaneous. So I'm guessing, because you did mention the passing of your mother, by the way, my condolences for that. So I'm guessing there's going to be some music about that at some point, even though it's not going to be maybe as obvious as it may seem, but there's going to be some music about that, right?
For sure. Yeah. I've been trying to write about it the last couple of months. And I feel like when it hits right, I'm going to know and bring it to the studio with the guys and we're going to be able to make it cool.
The song needs to be... we need to do it justice, you know. It's not something that you take lightly. It's not something that you write lightly. You know, it's something that even, you know, if we end up playing that song live, it's a lot of emotion that goes through that, and you have to be able to capture that and to reproduce it. You know, however many thousands of times we're gonna end up playing it. So I think we haven't started writing it yet. It's
still in the grieving process for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Exactly. I smell the song in the air though. Like it's
coming.
It's coming, yeah.
So my last question for you guys is like, this is your opportunity. Is there anything you want to announce? you want to tease, shows, tours, like I said, the EP, maybe any upcoming projects, guys?
I mean, definitely the EP. It is coming, hopefully, 2023 for sure, some point in the year. We're going to be playing, I think, 3 of our unreleased songs at the show on November 11th. So that's from the EP, like 3 never before heard songs. So if you guys want to hear them, come down and watch.
And we're also going to be selling a copy of one of the songs that I won't tell you when it'll get released. But one of the songs we've got, we're going to be selling CDs with one of the new songs on that CD. So if you're at the show, you get access to one of our songs. We're selling them CDs only. There's going to be a certain amount of them, and that's it. And then it'll go off to until we release. So on November 11th, the Diving Bell Social Club in Montreal. See you guys there.
Yes.
Guys, like I said, go follow Neomi on her Instagram. This is Neomi, guys. Like I said, follow what she's got. Go check out her music. Go to her shows, guys. It's the best way you can support people for sure. There's no doubt. Let's sell out this show. It's November 11th, guys. Hope to see all you guys here for sure. Like I said, if I could have made it, I would definitely go. I am going to be in Toronto that weekend, unfortunately.
No worries.
But,
next time.
There's always next time for sure. Bobby said, thanks for the answer. He wrote Naomi, but it's Naomi. It's okay. Sorry about your mom as well. It's okay, Bobby. I made about 4 times that mistake in the same episode. And even backstage and on Instagram. So.
At this point.
Oh, it's a running joke in the band. Yeah, it's the name.
Yeah. Because it's funny because I was trying to find your full name. And then the only time I saw your full name was on YouTube, the covers you did.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
With a V, your last name, eh?
Yeah. We kind of cut it short for the band. We're just like, Naomi.
Interesting. All right. So, guys, the interview portion is done. So now we're going to hear Naomi's, one of her hit songs, actually, Dangerous. She's here with her bassist, Sandro Ferraro. When you guys are ready, take it away, guys.
Let's do this thing.
You ready, dude?
Yeah. Is this close enough?
Should be fun.
Okay. See your eyes across the room staring me down, and I think you know I noticed. Think I've seen you before, like somewhere around town, and you look like trouble. My target's set on you, and I don't know if you've heard it. I'm about to captivate you. Oh, you. 1, 2, 3 steps closer. I feel like I'm about to take a dance with the devil. Baby, can you tell me, am I right? It's dangerous. Why right? And I'm all for it. A wolf in sheep's clothing at best, at least this time. I know it, and I've dealt with your kind before. They let me cry it at their back door. And here's what's different, and this time around, I'm holding all the cards. No, 1, 2, 3 steps closer, and this time I can tell you that it's over. 1, 2, 3 steps closer. Oh, this time I can tell you that it's over. 1, 2, and 3 steps closer. This time it's over. It's dangerous. Why right? And I'm all for it. Wolf in sheep's clothing at best, at least this time. I know it, and I've dealt with your kind before. They let me cry it at their back door. Here's what's different this time around. Oh, I'm holding all the cards.
Woo! Bravo! It's like in America's Got Talent. What's her name there? Sofia Vergara. She always goes, bravo! That's what I do.
Love it.
Listen, everybody loved the song. I see by the comments. I certainly loved it, guys.
Thanks.
But something I really like about you guys is, like I said, you're a unity, you're a group. Like I said, you have amazing people around you, Naomi. You have Sanjo, you have Jesse as a producer. You have your family, your friends. There's so many people, like your fan pages, Jasmine, so many people like that adore you. And like I said, you have such great music. You have a good vibe. The music videos are natural. Look. When Charles Vaccaro tells me there's somebody that he thinks really needs to be out there, I believe him for sure. I trust his word. You know what I mean? So, congratulations, Naomi, on the song, on your career. Like I said, it's a very young career. I can't wait to see where we're gonna be at in the next 5 to 10 years. That would be interesting. If we could go on a time machine, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We'll come back on the podcast.
We'll come back.
Yeah, exactly. We'll come back for sure. So, guys, thank you very much for coming on. Like I said, it was a pleasure. Again, Charles V. Rocks Vaccaro, thank you very much for the suggestion as well. Bobby said, is Alanis Morissette an inspiration to you, Naomi? Got it right this time.
Question.
That's so funny that you mentioned that. Well, Sandro, I mean, just a side story that's kind of funny. He opened for her this summer with as a session player for one of the bands. So that's funny that you mentioned that.
I opened for her at the Ottawa Blues Fest, 2 months ago, not even.
Impressive.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a great Canadian,
Yeah. Bobby loves Alanis.
So I grew up actually, my mom was a big fan. She played her around the house a lot.
Yeah.
So definitely, I think she's awesome. I feel like I love artists that like are authentically themselves, and you could feel that everything she does is like so true to her, like from her songs, her performances. I admire her as an artist overall, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Bobby, Sandro's a paisan. What school did you go to, Sandro?
I went to VMC, but I was always
VMC. So yeah, guys, he's been
all the time. Every day after school, I was there. All my friends were at Laurier. My band was at Laurier. We used to jam in the
guys. Like I tell you that, like even though I didn't talk to Sandro in high school, whatever, and I've seen him around, and like I said, he's been always in the music, especially the rock scene.
Oh yeah. I've been playing since I was like 12 years old. I got my first guitar, and it's never stopped.
Bobby's asking if you know Tony Ferrallo. No?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Tony Ferrallo. I mean,
Tony
unless
Ferrallo.
you say Tony Ferraro, that's my dad.
Small world.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, guys, go check out Naomi on YouTube. By the way, your Greece has Got Talent. Is it on YouTube, your performances?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so guys, we're gonna go check that out after to see the replays for sure.
Check it out. Let me think.
Yeah. Bobby said it's another songwriter. Okay, interesting.
No, my dad doesn't write music.
All right. Like I said, good luck with the show. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Like I said, share this out with all your friends, especially if they like music and they want to support Montreal artists. That's for sure. This will be the last interview of the season, guys. We're starting our web series, The Unknown, Season 3. So for you guys, Naomi, that don't know what it is it's like a web series about mysteries.
Oh.
So anything that's unexplained, mysterious. So it goes in with like the October vibes of Halloween and stuff like that. So that's why we're doing that. But this season, there's a little twist. It's not like Bigfoot and stuff like that. It's Montreal edition. It's about Montreal mysteries.
There is some cool Montreal mysteries.
Exactly.
I'm excited to see that, man. That's cool.
So I have a lot of research to do. It is starting next week, actually.
Amazing.
So I'm still not 100% sure which one I'm going to air, but it's going to be really interesting, guys. Just to tell you a few, you got the mysterious pink house in Montreal. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that.
Silos.
You have disappearances of Ariel. There's a little kid that went missing. There's the ghost of Esplanade Street. There's a lot of them. Like I've actually researched a big list of them, so I can't wait to show you guys.
There's a hidden treasure on Il Notre Dame somewhere. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, Bobby actually he was there when it was the UFO. I think it was Place Bonaventure. People said that the spaceship was like literally like right in front of them.
Oh my god!
I think I gotta ask Bobby about that for sure. He could definitely help me out with that one.
I'm excited
I think he witnessed it. Yeah. Plasma Namatsu. This was a while ago, Bobby. When was it? What year? If I'm not mistaken, could it have been the 90s or early 2000s, something like that. But that's definitely one I want to talk about. There's also the lights on Pierre Olivier Trudeau. It happened last year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You remember those little like weird lights on Pierre Olivier Trudeau?
Yeah.
So there's that we could talk about. Bobby said it was 1991, but that was one of the most famous UFO sightings in Canada.
Wow.
That's crazy, guys. Yeah. It was November 7, 1991. Yeah. What's up? Jofo in the ring is in the building. He's coming in. You just missed the performance and the interview, Jofo, but there is a replay for that. So you can definitely check it out. Mega shout out to Jofo in the ring, guys. They've been doing a lot. They recently merged with Dirty Four, another good friend of mine, Mr. Claudio Capri. They got a lot going, and the channel is really doing well. So go check out their wrestling content for sure. Guys, that's it for tonight. I'll see you next week on episode 1 of The Unknown. We are done here, guys. Take care. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.